Welcome back, everyone, to the A.D.D. show, where we're not always right, but we're never wrong. As always, I'm Mark.
And I'm Hans, and welcome back, everybody. We're now week 13, right?
Yes.
Technically. We're recording Monday. You guys will hear this on Friday. So we're a few days early, barring injuries, COVID news. DC and Seattle still haven't played Monday night yet. They play in a few hours. So just kind of that heads up that when you guys do hear this, we are a little behind. So if we make a pick and you're like, why would you pick that? Tom Brady's out with a sprained ankle. Like, we don't know that because it's Monday. So we're going to do our best to make our picks for this weekend going now. But Mark, how are you on this frigid Monday?
I'm good. I want to start off by talking about those Washington football team. I don't really care if I say Redskins anymore.
You're offending like three people.
Because we ended last week's show by asking if they didn't make the playoffs last year, would the fans be disappointed? And we're friends with a lot of fans of Washington. Most of the ones that I've talked to in person at work and here and there have said no, but yes. They say we're always disappointed in a losing record.
Of course.
But since we made the playoffs last year, we were hyped and we were ready to go. Nate and Logan are almost on the same page when it comes to these guys, when it comes to what their philosophy is right now. And basically what they're saying is they feel they're going to make the 7th seed. Now, Nate's reasoning is a lot better than Logan's reasoning. If anybody knows us, that's usually the case.
Okay, so usually I'm more logical and you're not.
No. Nate's more logical than Logan.
Oh, I thought
nobody's
you were
more logical than me because all you fanboys are so blinded that you're not realistic.
Fanboy telling us we're blind to the Bengals fan, or stop it.
Yeah, at least I know when the Bengals are bad. You guys don't even know when your teams are bad.
My team's
but
not
Nate's
bad.
logic was very valid.
Yeah.
Because the teams that Washington are battling are on free falls, most of them. Mm-hmm. The Vikings, like Nate even said, the Vikings can't get out of their own way. The Saints, they're done. Yeah. They're done. Eagles just lost a horrible game to the Giants, which just opened the door for the Washington football team. And then you have the Bears, the 49ers will get in ahead of them, but the 49ers are probably easily going to be the 6th seed. If not higher, like 5th, could be 5th. But actually, the Rams, I don't think they can catch the Rams unless the Rams keep free falling, which they are. But they have the perfect cure to a free fall, which is the Jaguars this week. Yeah. So I started looking into it, and their last 5 games are division games. Mm-hmm. It goes Cowboys. I think it's Cowboys, Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Eagles,
something like that.
Or they end with the Giants, and they alternate Eagles and Cowboys for 4 weeks, and then they end with the Giants. Yeah. That opens the door freely for them. Mm-hmm. This game tonight is a must-win.
If they don't win this game, they can probably count their season out.
Yes.
Now, I will say they have a little bit of help with the Eagles losing to the Giants, and they have some help. They do have pathways, even if it doesn't go through Dallas or doesn't go through the Eagles or doesn't go through this. They just got to pop off a couple of these wins because, again, here's the other thing. Dallas hasn't looked too hot last few weeks. There is a chance that they could still struggle. There's a chance that DC could win one of these against Dallas, probably at Dallas. That's a timely team to lose, and there's a lot of football left.
Yeah, and the other team is Carolina. Free fall. Like, they can't figure out their QB position. They just lost CMC.
Remember a few weeks ago we talked about how hot the NFC was and the AFC was bad?
Yes.
That's flipped real quick.
But then you're still looking, what is it? The top teams are 8-3 in the NFC, 9-3, something like that, where the AFC is 8-4, 8-9-3. We have one 9-3 team, which I don't know how they keep winning. They look awful, the Ravens. But
they're the luckiest unlucky team. Like, I don't even know how to say that.
They're the luckiest bad team. Like, Minnesota's an unlucky good team, I feel, because stats.
Yeah.
When you look at where their defense and their offense is ranked. And then you look at Baltimore, I don't know how they're winning. Like
Every game they seem to lose, like they're awful QBRs. They're not good games, but they find a way to squeak these wins out.
If you have a chance,
Yep.
look up Lamar Jackson's stats and look at his last 5 games. They are awful. They are awful. I think it's 9 interceptions, 7 touchdowns, and a QBR of like 64.
His last 5 games. We'll go back to the Chargers game. We'll go after that.
Yeah, because it was right after the Chargers game that they started falling apart.
Yep, because he had 4 touchdowns against Indianapolis. So let's say since October 17th, he had 167 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions, 68 QBR. Against Cincinnati, he had 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 87 QBR, 266 against Minnesota, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 88 QBR. And then against Miami, he was 238, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I do believe that interception was a pick 6, 73.6. And then last night against Cleveland, he had 1 touchdown, 4 interception, and a 45 rating.
How do you have 10 points and 4 interceptions?
I don't get it.
When I saw that Lamar had 3 interceptions in the first half, I was like, how is this game?
Let's put it this way. Baltimore should have had better stats, but in a way, let's put it like this. Cleveland should have absolutely ended that game last night.
Yes.
The fact that they couldn't move the ball against a defensive line that seemingly looked really decent last night for Ravens, which is their strongest suit on their entire team, is the defensive line and Lamar's knees. Other than that, if anybody's disappointed, yeah, I get the Ravens won, but the Steelers should be disappointed. The Browns should be disappointed in that performance. You had every option and opportunity to win your damn game, and you didn't do it.
Yes.
So the Ravens found another way to win, and I'll put it this way. We may not like the Ravens, we know that. We're logical. But I will be honest, the Ravens keep finding ways to win, and that's a scary team. However, that is not usually the answer in the playoffs. Then the playoffs, you need a team that is beating teams thoroughly.
Yes.
And there's only like 2 or 3 teams right now that every week are popping off, and that's the teams you don't want to play right now.
Right. And the Patriots.
We'll talk about 2 of them soon. Patriots are one of them.
Patriots. Kansas City.
Yeah.
Again, everybody's was the last 3 years. I think you're spoiled with how good this offense has been.
Yeah.
Where now they're winning games, but their defense is really coming on. So they're doing complete football, where they're just doing enough offensively, but killing it on defense.
Yep.
And your division is falling apart.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
absolutely.
the Chargers in Vegas are not very good.
No.
Logan said it perfectly in our group chat watching the San Diego game. I was at work, so I didn't get to see any of the games. I picked the Broncos to win only because they were home. I didn't think it was going to be like that. And Logan said in our chat, he said, how is San Diego Los Angeles so bad? Like, they are so inconsistent, and they have so many good players on their team.
Yeah, they do.
And they do not play well.
Coaching.
And, I mean,
it's a rookie first-year coach who shouldn't have had the job he got. I think there's better coaches for that team.
Yes.
And they have a lot of talent that needs a really good coach to run that. Like a Kingsbury-type coach could do it. You need someone that can get that ball slinging.
Yes.
And they don't have it.
They
have a coach that used to be a running back.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, I get you have Eckler, but like this offense is dynamic. This offense could be a Dallas Chiefs offense, but it's not.
What's his average pass? Average yards per
It's low. It's
per
low
pass.
this
like
year.
For Herbert, where do you think it should be? And I'll tell you where it is.
It's in the 6s, isn't it?
It's 7.
Yeah, it should be. It should
just
be around
under 7.
9
I think
and a half.
it's like it's
around 9.5.
He is. They are playing dink-dunk football, and they're not taking the top off of it. When they were blowing teams out in the beginning of the season, it was to Mike Williams deep, Keenan Allen deep post.
A lot more teams are playing cover 3 and cover 2 against them right now, but that's not an excuse. You should be able to find ways to open up windows to get the ball deep. So they're dinking and dunking. Like I looked at it right now. I looked up the matchup with the Bengals. Jamar Chase and Keenan Allen have just about the same amount of yards, about 80 or 90 yards different. But there's a 30 catch difference between the two of them. That tells you they're dinking and dunking. I knew that from the start.
But with Cincinnati just played their most complete game of the season. And I said it was funny because right as I typed it, Burrow threw an interception in the end zone. And you were like, oh, Mark's all hype, and now he's not. And then they had a pick 6, and I was like, I'm hype again. But that was the most complete game I've ever seen. And what have I preached all year for this team to do?
Just play football.
Hand the ball off. Give Mixon the ball 30 times a game. He ran the ball 28 times for 130-something yards, 2 touchdowns, and had like 2 or 3 catches. That's your game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care that Burrow doesn't throw for over 200 yards.
Yeah.
I don't care that Chase doesn't have an 80-yard touchdown in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I care that you limit your mistakes, you play great on defense, and you just impose your will on other teams.
Pretty much.
And, that's what I think a lot of these teams are missing. And I think that's what – I don't think Eckler's a ground and pound.
He's not, no.
And so I think the coaches feel like they have to save him or they can't give him the ball 30 times a game.
Eckler is similar to me, and people may find this, they don't like it, but the stats are there, that he plays a lot like Kamara does. Kamara is not a ground and pound running back either. And I'm not comparing the two. Kamara is a different breed, but they are both very much, again, in another way, CMC. Again, not comparing the two. Eckler will usually get more catches than carries, and that is why I've always thought Eckler is great, but they should have a power running back that can run the ball with him. He should not get all the carries because he's not that kind of running back. Right. He just isn't. Yeah. So, and again, I think that hinders them a little bit. Yeah. I don't know what it is with coaching there. Again, there's a lot of teams right now I could go about just coaching woes and just coaching nightmares right now that's happening that just need to be addressed, and the Chargers are one of those teams.
Yes. So we'll get right into this week's games. You picked Washington, right?
I did.
To win tonight?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we've got Thursday night game, Cowboys-Saints.
Yep.
Cowboys have some COVID issues.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Cooper's back.
Cooper and CeeDee Lamb will both be back. Gallup is back, obviously, from last week.
Okay, but your right tackle's out because he just tested positive for COVID.
Yep, he's out.
And then, your coach is out.
Coach is out. Randy Gregory's back.
Okay.
Neville Gallimore's back. No, he's
Are
the
you
one that was
at all worried about the Cowboys?
I'm getting there, but I'm not worried in what sense? Worried they'll miss the playoffs, or worried that they're not a Super Bowl team now?
Worried that they're just, again, and it's sort of like, when I say this, it's sort of like people saying the Browns are the Browns. Where when we first started, the first episode I think we did, the Browns are going to do Browns things. Where it's going to be the Cowboys are doing Cowboy things. Where they're going to have all the momentum in the world, then fall apart at the end of the year and lose in the first round of the playoffs.
My fear is that the direction this team is heading at the moment is going to be a 2015-16 Bengals year.
So win the division, first round out. Okay.
At this moment. Yep. That doesn't mean I don't trust the team, but there are many factors that are bothering me with this team right now that I don't have enough time to even explain, and all of it has nothing to do with some of the players on the field. It has everything to do with coaching, has everything to do with discipline, it has everything to do with just players that should not be playing. You should not have 312 yards in penalties. You should not have one player on defense allow 14 points alone. You should not have kicks go out of bounds when you're kicking on a kickoff. Just stupid calls and stupid penalties. And whether or not they're the refs' fault, I'm not here to argue that. Penalties go both ways.
Yeah.
Refs are way too lenient with penalties, and I get it happens. But there are players on this team that literally cost us the game. And the last player that did it is the one that hikes the ball. It was everyone had a terrible performance, and it goes on the whole team. And Mike McCarthy is losing this team, and I didn't believe it weeks ago when Mark said it, but then I went back today and I looked at Green Bay games, one of the most penalized teams under Mike McCarthy. Mm-hmm. I did not realize it because I am younger than Mark that I didn't really start paying attention to football till around the Super Bowl year with the Packers. So I'm like, oh, Mike McCarthy, Super Bowl. I didn't always look at the fine line details of other teams but mine since we did this show. Yep. He was very uncoached. Players were uncoached. Players were uncoachable. They were very dirty, lots of suspensions, and I see it now. And honestly, I'm excited for Thursday night. Dan Quinn is going to be coaching. I'm not saying he's a good head coach, but Kellen Moore will be back to offensive plays, and the players love Dan Quinn. Mm-hmm. They love him more than they love Mike McCarthy. So to me, I'm excited for this game, but I'll let you pick yours. Just to me, the Dallas Cowboys right now are a disappointment, and it's not the 100-plus QBR quarterback. It's not, I mean, Zeke's a disappointment, but he's hurt. We can't blame injuries. There's something's not there, and you should be winning these games, and you need to beat these Saints on Thursday because
I got the Cowboys only because the Saints are a leaking ship that's the hole's the size of this garage.
Yeah.
Like they've got a lot of holes and they're not filling them. And my opinion is you know, fantasy-wise, people don't want to hear this, but you bench Kamara for the rest of the season because he's hurt enough where he hasn't played the last 3 weeks. But now you're not jumping I mean, well, you're 5-6. You're tied with Atlanta. You're almost tied with Carolina, but Carolina has a bye this week, so you will be 5-7 if my prediction is correct. Atlanta could be 5-7, and then you have the Bucks at 9-3 after this week, and you're not getting in the division. No. You could get in as a wild card, but do you want to?
No.
Like at that point, do you really want to get in as a wild card? So I got the Cowboys winning. Again, I was, I didn't think the Saints were as bad as they were until the Bills absolutely beat the crap out of them. I got the Cowboys winning. I don't even think it's going to be close. Yeah, I don't care who's playing for Dallas right now.
So everybody being back is huge. I'll go in another minute and then we'll move on. I think having CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper back are going to be huge. I watched the game last week, every minute of it. I didn't miss a moment. And I can tell you that balls were thrown a little bit overthrown, and people like, well, Dak this, well, Dak that. Something else people need to do when it comes to their quarterback is you need to time the amount of time from snap to the time the quarterback's touched. It was one of the lowest in the season. You can't throw the ball when you're hit like that. Mm-hmm. Plus, we had 11 drops. And I want people to understand that the term drop is not a tipped pass. A drop is a confirmed catchable ball in your chest, in your hands, that the NFL reviews as catchable when they come out 5 hours later with the stat sheet. 11 droppable balls. You can't be playing like this. I think Dallas needs to figure out... Dallas needs to go into this game Thursday night more disciplined. They need to stop the penalties. Oakland had a great game. Hats off to Las Vegas. Hats off to Las Vegas. They played a hell of a game. Derek Carr was a monster. But every third down, they had 14 third downs, I think Oakland did. 7 of them we gave them pass interference on those third downs. People like, well, that's just bad. Like, I don't think Dallas is bad. I think they're undisciplined. And this is going to hurt them. Like Mark was saying with Mike McCarthy, this is a game to reset. The Saints are bad. They're starting Taysom Hill, and any running quarterback has been hit multiple times by Micah Parsons this year. Yeah. I think Simeon's a better start behind the O-line. If you're going to get out of the pocket, Micah's going to knock you down. Yeah. And I think this is the game Dallas needs to reset themselves. Get their shit back together. Then you have 13 days off. Almost 2 weeks.
Do you press the panic button if they lose?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I still think they'll find a way to win the division because I think Washington's doing well, but we're going to find a way to win at least one of them probably. I still think the offense and defense of Dallas right now is better, but something's not right. And if they keep losing to this point, it's been 2 years. Let McCarthy go. You have the talent. You have the players. Obviously, he's not getting it done. Mm-hmm. Just find a way. Finally do it. You've talked about it. Just promote Kellen Moore. Or call Tony Romo out of the booth.
My boy... lives down in Florida, Brett, doesn't have Facebook, doesn't have social media or anything, and I made a comment on a Facebook page that had said something about the penalties and all that stuff, and all I said, nobody got into an argument with me. It wasn't one of those things where I said, you have to play more disciplined football. Mike McCarthy is going to be the death of this team. Mm-hmm. And his wife and his mom... Well, his mom said, hey, Brett wanted me to tell you he agrees 100% with you. He's been saying that all year about Dallas, that McCarthy's going to be the death of this team. And that's like, it's one of those things where I just don't see it.
Do you know how many times, I want to say this, and I know we have other games to get to, I'm sorry, but how many times I've seen going for it on the 35-yard line? Not your 35-yard line. Like the 70 yards to go, you're going for it in the first quarter. I've seen kicks at 58 yards. People are like, well, why wouldn't you kick it? There's a minute left. It's only third down. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a minute and a half a few weeks ago, and we had 3 timeouts, and we let it click and just took a knee. Mm-hmm. These are the decisions that are going to cost us, and because I do bleed blue and silver, the problem is I don't see these things till this week, and I'm like, this is an uncoachable, this is a coach that does not, his players don't rally behind. The biggest leader on this entire team is the quarterback who's leading the game every game. Even though they lost, there were some incredible throws in that game in the third quarter. Incredible plays by the quarterback, all to be lost by pass interference on third down to set them up for the field goal. Every mistake that could have been made, Dallas did, and I went, they did it again. Oh, another penalty. Oh, another penalty. And some of them, let's be real, on Oakland's side and our side, were bullshit, and we know they are. We know Derek Carr ran right into Micah Parsons for roughing the passer. We know that, but it doesn't matter. These need to be addressed, and they need to be cleaned up. Because if not, there is another team in your division that's been hot the last 2 weeks, and after tonight could be and running for your ass. And if Dallas loses this spot to DC winning off a few of these games, implode it. You got to implode McCarthy. You got to start over because DC cannot catch them. Right. So I got Cowboys winning this game, and I'm not confident in that decision. I'm still not.
All right.
Next game.
There's 3 games, 3 marquee games this week.
I would agree.
This is one of them. Chargers at Bengals.
Yep.
Chargers are 6-5. Bengals are 7-4. And both teams are going in different directions. Mm-hmm. The last 5 quarters by the Bengals have been the best quarters they have played all year. Mm-hmm. And the last 3 games by the Chargers have been awful.
Yeah, pretty bad.
I think they're 1-2. And I'm going to say 3. It could even be 4 because I think they're 1-3 in their last 4 games.
Something like that.
It's awful the way they're playing. Again, we talked about it, coaching on this part, and sooner or later it's going to take its toll. This is a game that I'm not 100% confident in, but I have the Bengals winning this game because I think they keep the momentum going. I think they found it. I think they found what works. And what works is being bullies. Mm-hmm. And their defensive line, Hendrickson, the free agent that they signed on the defensive end, defensive end, he has 7 straight games with a sack. Mm-hmm. He just broke a Bengal record. Now, I think the Bengals had 19 sacks all last year. Mm-hmm. And this guy has already got 7 of them.
He's
7
playing
sacks.
Out of his mind.
I think he's got 9 sacks. He's just had 7 games in a row. They're playing very well. And they're not doing it the way I thought they were going to do it, which I didn't want them to do it. They're doing it the way I wanted them to do it, which is run the ball, impose the will, and in the 4th quarter, the dam will break. Mm-hmm. And that's what I recommended Dallas do against the Raiders. They didn't do it because they couldn't run the ball for some reason against the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't know what. Real fast, I'll let you finish your game. I think a lot of it had to do with I'm going to go with what they're saying, and it did look hobbled the whole game. Zeke looked hurt, and when Pollard was in, looked a lot better.
Yeah.
Something still just isn't right with the offensive line. I don't know what it is, but something's off. It could be that Zeke's just not there anymore, but keep going with your Chargers.
I think the Bengals' defense is better than the Chargers' defense.
With your Bengals. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The Bengals' defense is better than the Chargers, and then the offenses, any given Sunday, they're I would say they're about equal. I would probably say the weapons on the Bengals, they have more.
Yeah.
Where
I think they have more weapons, but I would say the caliber of the weapons could be better at times for the Chargers, hit or miss. Like when they're on, they're better than any team in the league. But normally the Bengals they're very with the tide. Like they don't do anything spectacular. They do just enough, and they're all stars in their own way.
But Burrow just proved this. The last 2 weeks, Burrow proved that it's not all about Chase.
It isn't.
And I love that because Higgins popped off this week.
Yep.
114 yards out of 190. Higgins got 114 of them.
Yeah.
Chase has come out and they said they ask him every week. Well, you haven't been getting the targets that you got in the beginning. He goes, we got the W. Mm-hmm. He goes, I'm not about targets. I'm about winning. He goes, my time will come again.
Yeah.
He goes, but you know what? If they're gonna double team me and Higgins is open and Boyd's open and Mixon's gonna have the middle, go ahead.
Why would I not?
All day. He goes, my time will come again. He goes, but but I got the Bengals winning this game, and I think it's a statement that they're gonna be, I feel, 8-4. I think that's a big upset. Like, that's a game away from being over 500 for the first time in years, but it's already a 2-game improvement from last year.
Yeah.
And everything after this, I think this is a playoff caliber team. And if they hit on the cylinders, this is a team nobody in the AFC wants to play. Because I think they're built for cold weather. I think they're built for playoff football, which means Mixon, running the ball. The offensive line loves to run block. The team is playing with each other. They're playing within themselves. They're not trying to do too much. I really love this team, and I said it at the beginning of the year. I do love this team, but it's coming together. But last time I said that, they lost 2 straight to 2 bad teams. So I don't know what I'm going to do if they lose this game. Maybe, you might want to check on me. But I got the Bengals.
We check on you more than you know, bud. All right, so Chargers-Bengals. Again, people know last year, the Chargers are my ride or die team. People know that. Mainly, again, we know why. A lot of it was because I was right last year on Herbert and everybody else was wrong. I still think he's a good quarterback. I think he's having a rough year. I think that passing yards wise, touchdown wise, all that, he's not having a terrible year. His numbers aren't bad. They really aren't. I just think that the team is just... They remind me a lot of Dallas. They're just losing games they shouldn't lose. They're just not always coached properly. The situations they're in, they remind me of the Vikings at times where they're just down by 7 and they're just losing the games and they're in the position to win some of them and they're losing those meaningful games. The Bengals are hot right now. But here's the problem I have with this pick is that the Chargers can pop off at any moment and the Bengals can pop off at any moment. Yet both these teams can look like complete ass at any moment. That's the problem, is neither one of them have any amount of consistency. But I'm going to go with the hot hand. I picked the Bengals last week when Mark didn't. I'm going to pick the Bengals.
I picked the Bengals last week.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Who'd they play last week?
Steelers.
You picked them?
It's right here, my friend. I have it written down.
Is it the page, next page? Go one more. Is that the one? Or is that today?
Oh, here it is. It's right here. Bengals Steelers.
Okay, you did. Okay. For some reason I thought you picked the Steelers because of the Ohio thing sometimes. Okay. So not the Ohio thing, that they have a hard time winning against the Steelers. I'm going to go with the Bengals, ride the hot hand. I picked them last week. I'm going to pick them again this week. I think they're going to win this game, especially being at home. That instantly gives them a little bit of a favoritism there.
All right, 3 quick games.
Yeah.
3 quick games. Buccaneers Falcons, Cardinals Bears, Vikings Lions. Buccaneers, Cardinals, fuck the Vikings, but they win.
You said you weren't allowed to pick the Vikings all year.
They're playing the Lions. I can't. No, I'm not picking the
This
Lions.
will be the week the Lions win.
Exactly. But Cook's hurt.
Yep.
Probably not going to play. Cardinals got everybody back healthy.
Yep.
The Bears are a disaster. Should have lost.
Yep.
Buccaneers are going to destroy the Falcons.
Yep.
So I don't know if you disagree with any of those picks
So
on that.
I have the Buccaneers trouncing the Falcons. No problem there.
Yep.
The Vikings beating the Lions is my lock of the week.
Okay.
So there you go. And what was the other game?
Cardinals Bears.
I didn't do Cardinals Bears. I missed them on my list.
Because it's just that bad.
Yeah, exactly. I got the Cardinals winning then. I don't have it on my list. So
The
what?
Bucks are my lock.
Okay.
Okay. But we got into this is an interesting game. The next one, Giants Dolphins.
Yes, it is.
Dolphins are one of the hotter teams in football. I think they've won 4 straight. The Giants just came off a ugly win against the Eagles, but a win's a win.
But they couldn't have won 4 straight. Did they really start the season 1-7?
I believe so.
Oh, okay.
Was it 1-7 or were they 2-7?
I think it was 2-7.
2-7.
But
So 3 straight.
either way, I was like, I don't remember them being that bad.
Yeah, and it's in Miami. I still don't think the Giants are good enough team to put consistently wins together. You look at this offense, and they should put up points.
They should.
And this offense doesn't put up points.
Saquon's still not back, whatever people say.
Miami has figured it out. Waddle's a stud.
Oh.
Waddle is a stud. I mean, think about it. Waddle, Chase, Smith. Those all 3 are rookies. Then you had Jefferson last year. I mean,
Lamb.
The Lamb.
And who was the other one? Van Jefferson.
Van
Really
Jefferson,
good
T.
but he was
Higgins.
later in the draft. T. Higgins.
Like the young wide receivers in this
Rager.
league are ridiculously
They are.
good.
100%. That's why fantasy is so tough with these young, talented wide receivers are phenomenal.
Yes.
Phenomenal. And I can tell you most teams would take a Jamar Chase as a rookie right now, would take a CeeDee Lamb, would take a Jefferson over signing a older wide receiver on their team because the rookie classes are so good.
Yes.
Like if somebody I'm going to use a hypothetical. Like if someone's like, I would give you Keenan Allen, or would you rather have CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson? It's hard to say at the age. You might want to take one of the young guys.
Oh, I take the young guy. I take the young
100%.
guys 100% of the time.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
But if you said
changing.
Rieger or
No. They're different.
when Ruggs was there,
Yeah.
A couple of the back end like Bateman,
Yeah.
I would take Allen over Bateman. But
Yeah,
Bateman's still showing signs of being really good.
And that's kind of my point is that, like, agreeing with you, like, these younger wide receivers are
So
phenomenal.
good.
Don't miss out on them.
Yep.
And even the young running backs are playing well.
Yes.
And that's the thing, too. It's becoming a young man's game, yes, but other than Tom Brady, it's really a young man's game. It
Yes.
really is. It's getting younger and younger every year.
Yep. I have the Dolphins at home winning this game. Going again then they'd be 6-7, and surprisingly in the playoff chase. So I got the Dolphins winning this game, and watch out because they were a 10-win team last year. I do not we've asked all year, how did it change so drastically? And Flores is on the hot seat and blah, 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 blah.
I think he's kept his job at this point.
And now they're turning it around, getting healthy, not even healthy, just playing like they were. So I got the Dolphins winning the game.
This is my upset of the week. I got the Giants.
Do you?
Yeah. The Giants didn't look the hottest last week. Well, I say last week. It was more like yesterday because we're recording on Monday.
It was yesterday.
The Giants looked decent against the Eagles, which it was a bad game. The Giants, to me, have a lot of weapons on offense. They have Saquon that can move the ball. They have good pass catchers. Their defense is decent. The Dolphins are one of the hottest teams in the league right now, but I just don't have enough faith in either one of these teams. And to be fair, I could see either one of these teams winning, and I need an upset. This is the upset I picked. I needed one.
Okay. Mine's going to shock you.
I can't wait.
Okay.
Looking farther down, I bet I have a feeling of what it is, but I'm going to yell.
I bet you don't. I'm going to hide my paper so you can't see it.
I haven't looked at yours anyways. But keep going.
The next game is an awful game. Eagles-Jets.
Yeah. Got the Jets?
I got the Eagles.
Okay. I do too.
I feel like the Eagles are going to turn it around.
Yeah.
And not turn it around. Like they were 4th and 10 at the 20-yard line to take the lead, and they didn't. I mean, what did they lose? 13-10 or 16-10?
It was a low-scoring game. It was like 13-10, something like that.
And I just feel that the Eagles are better than the Jets, even though the Jets did pull it out. I called that one. I picked the Jets over Houston last week as my upset, but that's a sad upset. Houston, that's just but that game was better to watch than the Baltimore-Cleveland game was last night.
It definitely was.
But I got the Eagles. I just think they're better.
Yeah, I got the Eagles too. They're the better team. The Jets are, the Jets. What?
That is two, count them, 2 NFC East teams you've picked to win this week. I think we could go back all 13 weeks and
I bet
not
I've picked
have
more NFC East than you think.
We're going to have to go back and check. We're going to have to look at the
everybody
tape.
Who's listening to this, which is like 5 of y'all, I'm telling you, I have picked DC I picked them like the last 3 weeks in a row. I picked DC. I picked the Giants. When they play each other, I have to pick one of them. Yeah. But normally, like I said, I've been picking them pretty good. I've been trying to be fair. I think the Eagles are the better team. I'm not picking the Jets here. Here's the thing about Eagles fans, though, is pump the brakes. Don't be disappointed. Your time will come. This sounds really bad to say this. You have a lot of draft picks coming up. You have a lot of young talent. This team in the NFC 10-win team, they're coming. They're only a few years away. They have a decent coach. They have decent pieces around them. If you don't win these next few games, don't fuss about it if you're an Eagles fan listening.
Yeah.
This team's ceiling is high in the next few years, just like DC's is. You got to get the pieces just right because the Giants are still figuring out a quarterback, and the Cowboys' run is only a year or two longer, maybe 3 years longer, if that. It could be longer, but these teams have short spurts unless you're the Patriots who reload really fast.
Right.
Eagles fans, relax. You're going to win this game, but I will say don't be disappointed you lost to the Giants. This team has a lot of growing pains, and I really like the future the Eagles are heading, and I fucking hate the Eagles. Yep. But they do have a decent future in their direction. A direction they're going in the future.
Yep. Colts, Texans.
Yep.
Got the Colts.
All right.
The Colts.
Colts.
Washington versus the Raiders. Interesting game. I would love to see what the record is of the NFC East versus the AFC West.
Pretty bad.
I don't think it's good.
It's not
I really
good.
don't think it's good because I know Dallas was 1-3.
Yep.
And the Raiders flip a coin, and that's who you're going to get. Like you're
we should
either
be
going to get
3-1 if it wasn't for the refs, but it's fine. I'm joking. I just wanted to see how it speaks.
If anybody's heard that out loud, I just rolled my eyes so loud it just like they hurt now.
The whole garage shook when I did that. I was joking, by the way. As you guys heard in the beginning, I did.
You flip a coin, and it's either bad Raiders or good Raiders. Last week was good Raiders. Losing Waller hurts.
Yes.
Now all you have is Renfro to throw the ball to.
Yep.
Now
they
Renfro,
had the other couple kids that popped off against our defense.
Yeah,
so
but Renfro had an 8 for 123 or something. Like he had a great game. I got Washington winning this game. I tell you this right now, though. If Washington looks bad tonight, I could switch this pick, but I'm not going to because we're airing it, so it is Washington. But I could change my mind and say, no, I wish I had seen Monday night before I picked this game. I am picking Washington, though, because I do think Washington has figured it out, at least offensively. And if they can stay on the field, not turn the ball over, that defense isn't on the field as much, this game is going to be Washington's to have.
Yep.
So I do pick Washington here. But, again, tonight's game is key to this pick.
Yeah.
So
for me, I didn't. Excuse me. Whew. I didn't pick. I haven't picked yet. The hardest part for me picking this game is I don't know what the DC is going to do tonight. I don't. I'm going to make a pick. I'm going to pick Washington. I think they're the better team.
That's 3 people. That is 3 NFC East teams that he picked to win. Yeah. Damn.
I'm getting better. I'm being a better fan.
Are we in hell? Because it is freezing right now, and if we're in hell, we're fucked.
It's freaking cold as horse shit, man. Let me tell you. I don't think that's that cold. But no, I want to explain why. I have Washington winning this game because they are on a hot streak. They're playing good. I think Heineke's the answer. I made a joke in the group about Garoppolo, but Heineke can be the guy. You just have to get more oiled pieces together, figure out the defense.
I would take Garoppolo over Heineke any day of the week.
I know. I just said maybe they think they're the guy. Is that not what I said? That's what I meant to say. Heineke's playing at a different level right now, but here's the thing. If Washington looks like doo-doo tonight, there's a chance their season's over because they need to catch some fire, and they are catching fire. Seattle's not a good team, but here's the problem. Russell Wilson is still a good quarterback. He may not be a top 3 quarterback. He may not be a top 8, whatever people want them to put him as. He's still a good quarterback, and he still has 2 really good weapons, and DC has not stopped the pass all year.
I'll give him top 20.
Okay, top 20, whatever. I know you don't like Russell Wilson. Would you rather Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott?
Dak.
Oh, okay. Wow, I found that really surprising.
No, it's definitely like, especially at that, like, I would have taken Dak last year over Russ.
I think Washington is the better team here. Raiders are really hurt. It hurt them in that game. And again, unless Washington commits 27 record penalties, Washington should win that game. Okay. But again, I will say this. We don't know about the game tonight. But Washington does have to be careful because even though Seattle's defense is bad, Seattle has a way of having 2 really good weapons and throwing it on defenses. And again, that's my only cut. Tonight's going to be a good game. You guys are hearing this on Friday, like I said, but this is Monday, so Monday Night Football's tonight.
All right.
What we got?
Jaguars, Rams.
Who cares?
Rams are in trouble.
I think they are too. I would put them in Dallas in a situation where they both need to figure out who are we, because this is the moment where you have to remember a few weeks ago I said Bills and Dallas were both in a predicament, and they both pulled it off. This is the same thing. Right now, Dallas is back in it again with now the Rams. The Rams were considered one of the hottest teams coming into this season. Who are you?
Right. Well, let's put it this way. We both picked the Rams?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If the Rams and if the Rams lose, okay, and San Francisco wins, they both have the same record.
Mm-hmm.
And San Francisco is a team I do not want to play.
No, they're playing well right now.
If they're healthy, that's a dangerous team.
They're playing well right now.
A game that I just think is going to be worse than this past Sunday night game is the next game we'll talk about. Ravens-Steelers.
Yep.
Yeah. The Ravens tried very hard to let the Browns win this last night, and they didn't. And the Ravens came out and scored 16 points, 2 Justin Tucker field goals, 3 Justin Tucker field goals, and a touchdown. Mark Andrews made an unbelievable catch that most people don't make. And
most of us wouldn't make that, but most athletes definitely wouldn't make it.
And then they scored a touchdown, gave the Browns every chance in the world to win, and the Browns didn't take it. Are the Steelers a better offense than the Browns? Is Roethlisberger better than Mayfield? Is Najee Harris better than Chubb and Hunt? I can't answer that question. I know Deontay Johnson's better than anything they have on Cleveland. Freiermuth is a great rookie tight end.
Yeah, he is.
And I just don't know. I don't know if this, like, it's a rivalry game. Steelers they're going to hear all week about how bad they suck.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ravens are going to hear about how they need to turn it around because they're not going to win a playoff game this year if they keep doing this. I got the Ravens winning by default.
Yeah.
Not any confidence at all in them whatsoever. Yeah. I am going to root hard for the Steelers, and as always, I'm rooting for the Bengals because if the Bengals win, the Ravens lose, Bengals are in first in the North.
There's a lot of, I will say this before I make my pick, there's a lot of divisional games this week. A lot of games happening in the same division. The Ravens will win this game. The Steelers aren't very good. Big Ben's been bad for about 36 months now. A little bit longer than he should be playing, but again, it's an argument I made with Austin if he listens is, what other option do they have?
They don't.
And that's the thing. He's like, well, why did they even bring him back? What other option do you have?
I mean, think about it. Dwayne Haskins and Mason Rudolph must be god-awful.
That bad, if they're not even attempting to put them in when they're losing.
Exactly. I mean, they were down 41-10.
Yeah.
The Bengals took out Burrow in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And the Steelers did not take out Big Ben.
No.
He played the whole game.
And that's my thing. I think the Steelers have a decent enough running back. I think they have a decent enough defense. They have probably one of the best players in the league on defensive line, also one of the dirtiest players in the league on the defensive line. And TJ Watt, you guys know who he is. Likes to hold people down and cuss at them. But I will say this. The Ravens need to win this game, obviously. The Steelers need to win this game, but I think the Ravens will win this game. I think they're the better team right now. Lamar Jackson seems to have the Steelers' numbers recently. And given off last week, even though he didn't play well, I have no reason not to pick them. They find ways to win games. So I'm going to go with the Ravens here. Not confident at all, but...
Okay. Another division game.
Yep.
Important game for one. The other one I think is done if they lose tonight. They are done.
Yeah.
Being 3-8, I think they're done. 49ers Seahawks. They're playing at Seattle. The 12th man hasn't been the 12th man all year.
No.
Now, I will say it gets ugly up there this time of year.
Yeah, it does.
Snow, sleet,
This is
with that
nasty,
rain.
wet precipitation.
I got the 49ers winning. Now, is Debo healthy?
I don't think he's going to play.
But
Yeah.
that changes things.
Today's also Monday,
Yeah,
so.
that changes things, but not enough. I think this defense is going to get after him, and I think Elijah Mitchell's the real deal. And I think Garoppolo, Kittle, and Ayuk will have a good enough game to win this game. I got the 49ers winning it and putting pressure on the NFC, saying, hey, don't forget about us.
Yeah, they had a rough start. Again, and this proves with DC, this proves with the 49ers, this proves with the Broncos, and this proves with the Patriots. You can start bad and still find a way to end good. Teams can catch fire. The 49ers are a better team than Seattle right now. Again, I don't know what Seattle's going to do tonight. I could see Seattle having 200-yard receivers tonight very easily, but that doesn't mean they're going to win the game.
No matter what Seattle does tonight,
I don't think it changes this weekend.
I got San Francisco winning.
That's what I was about to say. It doesn't change what happens, but Seattle definitely doesn't want to lose this game. Winning tonight against DC and then somehow finding a way to beat the 49ers, they'd be 5-7, moving their way back up.
Yep.
But I don't see that happening. I got the 49ers winning this game with or without Debo. They're healthy, and they're finally playing like we've wanted them to play all year.
Yep.
So I'm pretty confident in the 49ers winning at Seattle.
Okay. Sunday night football, Broncos-Chiefs. Chiefs are coming off a bye. Broncos are coming off a big division win against the Chargers. Broncos are in the playoff hunt. Broncos are looking decent.
Without a quarterback that's worth it.
Right, and Bridgewater might not play.
Yep.
Drew Lock is not very good.
Yep.
I would rather have Bridgewater out there game managing and just use the two-headed monster they have at running back, which is Melvin Gordon and Williams. Javonte Williams. And just Fant, Sutton, Patrick, and Judy.
Yep.
Just, I don't care. It's not a fantasy sexy team because of all the weapons they have. And Bridgewater's not somebody that's going to take the roof off you. But I have the Chiefs winning this game.
Yep.
It's in Kansas City. They're coming off a bye. I think you really sit down and look, hey, our defense is coming around. Yep. What do we have to do offensively to keep this going? Let's do this. And I got the Chiefs winning this game. But the Broncos are surprising me right now.
Yeah.
But I did, surprisingly, I did pick the Broncos last week because they were home, not because I had confidence that they were going to win. But I have confidence the Chiefs are going to say, you know what, this is our division. You guys we let you play long enough, and we're going to take that game lead, and we're going to push it to 2 games after this week.
So I also have the Chiefs, mainly confidence. I mean, they're playing at a different level right now. They started off really bad. They're on a roll. The Broncos are a good team, too. I mean, again, the Broncos, to me, are a quarterback away from being a really good playoff team. I mean, just having a solid quarterback, just anyone, they don't really have a solid quarterback. And Drew Lock's not the answer. Trade deadline's obviously over, so it's an after-the-season thing. And being 6-5, you're not in a position to really draft a quarterback because, as people know, I'm a big college fan, the quarterback draft class isn't that great. You have Matt Corral, and then you have the kid from Pitt. I get it. Like, there's some decent quarterbacks, but like these guys don't have the Burrow, Lawrence, Mac Jones. They don't have that grade where they have a lot of experience. And it's not that Matt Corral's not good. Like, I get these guys are good, but like I see the next generation of quarterbacks for these teams that need one. They're going to be fighting for the Jimmy G's. They're going to be fighting for the Deshaun Watsons. They're going to be fighting for the Minshew's. The Rodgers. They're going to be fighting for the quarterbacks that have already been playing. And the quarterbacks, you might not even get a quarterback drafted top 10 this year in the draft. It just doesn't seem that way, which could be fall right into the Broncos. But I will say this, Chiefs are better right now, and they're at home. It's really hard to win there. Yeah. It's really hard to win there in December. So this game will be in December. So I got the Chiefs winning with full confidence. They're going to beat the Broncos.
Okay. So that was my third game. So the Bengals are the 2 game. Broncos, Chiefs were the third game because I said there was 3 marquee games. I don't know if you had a difference, but this next game is the marquee game of the week. Monday Night Football fell into this one. Patriots, Bills. And you've got the Patriots going to Buffalo. I don't like that this time of year.
Nope.
But New England going to northern New York, weather's weather.
Yeah.
Both teams are very well coached. Losing White is going to hurt Buffalo. You can't shut half the field down now.
They still have a top 10 defense without him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
it's a huge.
It's a huge because now you're going with a 7-round draft pick starting instead of a 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Pro Bowler, going to be a 3rd time this year. It's a big blow, and I don't think anybody's realized that Buffalo's gone to Matt Breida as their running back. Like, really? I didn't even know he was still in the league until I saw his name. He is, but there's something wrong with this Bills team.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. Paper-wise, they should be a lot better. They've fallen into something. They're still my Super Bowl pick. Like, I still believe in them a little bit. This White injury hurts. Because now you have nobody to guard Tyreek, if you play in against them. You have nobody to, and all that. The Patriots are better coached. Bills aren't going to get turnovers in this game. And that's how the Bills live. They live and die by the turnovers. The more turnovers they get, the more wins they get. They're not going to get turnovers this game. This is my upset of the week because the Bills are a 3-point home favorite. I got the Patriots winning this game. And I'm pretty confident in it.
Wow.
Just the way they're playing. Like, they're built for cold weather right now because they're going to run the ball with 3 different running backs. Mac Jones is going to throw the ball, and their Bourne is playing unbelievable. You got Henry and Jonnu Smith, who's finally healthy. Jacoby Myers has been the forgotten man, but still producing 3-4 catches, and all 3 or 4 catches are always first downs. I like the Patriots this game. The Patriots make a statement, and they take the division over with a game lead. Even though it's a half game right now, they take the division over, and they win this game.
So this is it's a tough game for me because both these teams are going in different directions. Okay? But here's the thing. The Patriots are playing really good football. We talked about it last week. They're playing football. Like, I know that sounds so stupid, and we say it all the time. It sounds so cliche, but they're playing football.
Yep.
But here's the thing with the Bills, though, is that the Bills have the opportunity to be the best team in offense in the league if they want to be. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter whose defense is in their way. It doesn't matter because the Patriots' defense isn't that great. It's good.
The Patriots' defense dirty.
It is dirty, but against the teams that they're beating. Against the teams they're not beating, it has let up a lot of yards. So that's my thing.
Okay, they'll give up yards, but they're not going to give up points. They've given up 190 points this season. You know who's number 1?
Who?
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo's at 182. So yards, that's fine.
Yeah.
But those are 2 by far.
So you have 2
the least scoring defenses.
You have 2 almost identical defenses, and you have a really hot offense with a lot of really decent young weapons, and you have another offense with a quarterback that is MVP caliber with, well, not right now. He's not playing the best right now, but MVP caliber and 2 fantastic wide receivers that are better than anybody on the other sideline. But here's the problem. One has a Hall of Fame coach, and the other one's at an all-time high right now playing so well that the American people only got 1 year of the Patriots sucking, and then they're back again. That's all we got was 1 year. I will say this. I'm going to pick the Patriots because they're the better team right now.
Okay.
But I would not be surprised if the Bills hangs 15 to 20 points on them. There's a chance that could happen. Okay. I'm also not going to be surprised if the Patriots do it. The problem with me, the Patriots are not a volume team, but they are preventing you from scoring. But if there's any team that can break that, the Bills have the opportunity, and they've done it before, to put 30, 40 points on teams. Okay?
Yep.
So, like just the Dallas did against the Patriots, hung 40 points on them. Obviously, they scored almost 42. The two best defenses are going at it this week is what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. But I trust the offensive weapons more on the Bills. But the Patriots right now are just playing good football. And I can't do it in my heart to pick against them. But I can see Josh Allen winning this game at home because they're the better team on paper. They should be the one winning this game. But I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Okay, so I want to give you – there's 3 teams in the NFL that have given up less than 200 points at this point in the season. Okay, we just talked about 2 of them.
Is the other one going to surprise me?
It should. I'll give you $1 if you can guess this team.
Can I get a hint? Is it AFC or NFC?
AFC.
AFC.
Yep.
It's not the Bengals.
Nope.
I knew that was a bad guess. It's gonna. You said AFC, so I'm thinking. Let me go down the list. AFC North. No. Nope. AFC East. I'm gonna say, with no confidence at all, no, I'm just kidding. Is it the Colts? Nope. Okay, I'm lost.
Denver.
Really?
Yes. 196.
Wow, and that's without Von Miller.
Yep. And so an interesting tidbit about how even point differential for the Patriots and the Bills are first by far. Mm-hmm. They're both 1 and 2 by far.
Yeah.
Like the next closest is Arizona at a point differential of 108. Mm-hmm. Okay. The Patriots are 146 and the Bills are 144. Mm-hmm. And the Patriots have scored 336 points. The Bills have scored 326. 336 and 326. Like these are evenly matched teams. Patriots are 5-0 on the road. Mm-hmm. They're 3-4 at home. Mm-hmm. Like that to me. Usually Gillette is the place. And they had a few,
but they had like 4 straight home games to start the season, didn't they?
I think three out of 4.
I think it was like 3 straight at home, then 2 away, and then they came back at home to play Dallas.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of home games. But yeah. They've been winning on the road for the last few weeks, which is really good, and they're on the road again. Like the only way I'm saying this is, to me, the Bills are a good team. So are the the Patriots. The Patriots are playing a lot better right now. I think the Patriots win this game, but what I'm saying, and this is not...
The Dolphins have won 4 straight.
They have, okay.
Yes.
I will just say this, and it's not because of the Patriots or Mark being a side Patriots fan, because he grew up in the area. The Bills have the opportunity to win this game. They are good enough to win this game by far. They've struggled the last few weeks, and could I see them getting up on a rookie quarterback here? I sure could. But Mac Jones isn't like everyone else. He's playing at a different level. So Patriots are going to win this game. That's my confident pick. And I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, man. I got like 20-17, 24-20, 17-14, something like that. It's going to be a close game. And I think it's going to be a great game. Of all these games, nobody should miss next Monday night. It's going to be a fantastic game.
Yes.
It's going to be one of the best games of the season. If, again, other than the penalties, the Dallas game on Thanksgiving wasn't good, it was a great game too. This is going to probably be game of the year right here, because this could determine the entire AFC. Not the AFC East, the entire AFC.
Yeah. And think about these injuries, okay? And 2 of them could be out for the season. Mm-hmm. CMC's definitely out for the season. Mm-hmm. Cook, Debo, Waller, all fell apart and just got hurt this past weekend. I am looking at fantasy for running backs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been bad all year.
And I know nobody dropped Chuba Hubbard.
No.
So in any 4 of our leagues. So if you have CMC, you're screwed.
Every league I had Zeke in, which was 2, I made a point to trade everyone away to get Pollard.
Chris Carson.
Yep.
Chris Carson is out too. I picked up Alex Collins.
Yeah.
I think he's a solid player. I think he's probably, if you're looking at it with all the intensive purposes of the running backs out, I bet you he's a top 15 running back.
Oh, yeah.
For fantasy right now, to have.
Elijah Mitchell was a good pickup for me a few weeks ago.
Yep, he's been in my lineup for forever, so I've been trusting him. But it is definitely an interesting season. Like, you can't put your finger on any team that is running away with this right now.
No.
Arizona is the best team in the league, but let's see what happens. Like, if they can stay healthy, they won a couple games without Kyler and Hopkins.
Yep.
Now both are hopefully healthy and coming back, especially fantasy-wise. I just look at it as this season has been so much fun to watch, but so mind-boggling that you can't get a sense. Every year I've ever watched football, you always could say, oh, that's the team.
Yep.
That's the team to watch out for. Right now, since I haven't watched very many Arizona games and Kyler hasn't played in a few weeks and they were just off the bye, Green Bay to me is that team.
Yeah.
Green Bay is the team that is the hottest right now, that is going in, and I could see Green Bay versus New England. But again, you've got Baltimore, the Colts, Tennessee, if they can just figure it out. Tread water.
Yeah.
And just hope that everybody gets back healthy
and that
for the
you can
playoffs.
And that because of the injury, you can get freaking Derrick Henry. You can get Derrick Henry at 30%. Like, if you can get Derrick Henry a week early before he's fully ready to come back, you got the whole offseason.
I tell you this, the two running backs that just played are good. They're decent. They're decent. They're not Henry.
Yeah.
Julio and A.J. Brown come back healthy, it's a different team.
Yeah.
And you don't need need Henry, but you don't need Henry. And
they're going to need Henry to win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
They won't win the Super Bowl without him.
And my feeling right now is the way the Patriots and the Chiefs are playing, you could have a third out of Mahomes' 4 years starting. He could play against the Patriots 3 out of 4 years in the AFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl. And that's the two hottest teams right now in the AFC.
In the AFC, by far.
And the two teams where, you can't say the Ravens are a hot team because the Ravens are just too inconsistent offensively, too hurt, anything. And it's scary to think about if they didn't have all these injuries at running back and offensive line, how good this team could be.
Yeah.
But then you're looking at the Bengals up and down. A scary team if it's clicking, but a beatable team when they decide
that's
to.
That's the thing about a lot of the teams. What we talked about last week is it's hard to put your finger on that one definitive team. And same thing I do with Dallas. Same thing I do with the Bengals. Same thing I do with a lot of these teams is when they're clicking, nobody wants to play Dallas or the Bengals. But when they're not clicking, they play like dog crap.
Yeah.
And it's not even close. It's not that they don't and that's the thing. It's like, wouldn't you rather look bad and get a close loss? But you look bad when these teams lose. I mean, I know Dallas was a close loss, but you look bad. You can't do that.
To not take that kid out of the game on defense. He had 4 pass interference calls.
That calls
that last
13.
That last one, and everybody was like, "Oh, you can't throw the." He was face guarding.
Yeah.
That's a penalty every time. All he had to do was this:
turn around,
just turn your head a little bit, and
you know what's funny is if he would have turned around to look at the ball. Just turn around and look at it, it would have been offensive pass interference.
Exactly.
Because the other guy was on him. But since he didn't, and again, these are coaching things.
His head wasn't in the game.
No, the whole game.
He didn't have a pass interference call all season.
I know, surprisingly. He's been getting his ass burnt every game, though.
But how do you keep him in the game? That's my question. How do you, as Dan Quinn and McCarthy... I don't care, injured or not. Somebody's better than that.
So this week we do have that 4th-round rookie we drafted. Kelvin Wright. I think Kelvin Joseph. He's been injured a few weeks, but he's healthy, and you'd see more time from him. But it's I don't know why they kept him in the game because every time it was 3rd down. Do you know for the first time, and you watch a lot of football, so you know, have you ever sat there and watched a game and went, I know what's about to happen. And not because Tony Romo was calling the game. I appreciate him being Nostradamus. It's really nice of Romo-damus, man, telling me everything.
I actually hate it. I'm like, Romo, shut up. I want to be surprised.
He said, I'm sitting there and I'm watching the game and I'm sitting there in I don't know, 2nd quarter. We're still at Uncle Joe's house. I'm like, I know what's about to happen. And Austin's in there's what? I was like, it's going to be a pass interference call, roughing the passer. And again, I did say this. A lot of those calls were horseshit. But here's the problem. They got called. And I will say this till the day I'm dead. I hate most penalties, and they bother me. But you should never be in a position that on Monday morning you go, we lost because of penalties. No, you lost because you played bad. The penalties did not help.
No.
Let's put it this way. I mean, Dallas had 500 yards of offense. It did not help. But here's the thing. You have to clean that up, and you should have taken him out of the game sooner because he was a liability. To me, it just comes down to a lot of these teams, when they're hot, they're on. Dallas is like that. To me, the Rams are like that. When they're hot, they're on. When Stafford's not throwing pick sixes.
Buffalo.
Like 3 straight pick six games from Matthew Stafford.
Yep.
What is happening?
I mean, you could pick. I mean, let's go down. So I'm just going to go down the list as I walk up, sit forward a bit, and not. So dangerous teams that when they're clicking, you don't want to play. Okay. There's a handful of them, and I'm just going to go: Cowboys, Bengals, Bucks, Cards,
Jaguars. No, I'm just kidding.
Rams, Chiefs, Bills.
Yep.
I'm missing somebody. Packers. Packers have a bye week, so they're not on the list here.
That's about 10 teams.
Those are teams like you don't want to play those teams if they're clicking. Like you don't. And the
Ravens.
exciting,
Did you say Ravens?
I did not.
Okay.
Ravens.
I would probably say Ravens clicking. They are dynamic, even though we poo-poo on them. They're dynamic.
You know what's exciting though? About saying that? So it's been an aggravating season to try to figure out what's going on. The exciting thing is those 10 teams. All 11 teams, all 11 could make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And all 11 might play it. Like, these will be great playoffs. If all teams are clicking, and this could be a fun playoff season.
All 11 of those teams have looked like dog crap at least once this season, if not twice.
Yes.
And that's the crazy part. Is normally you have 2 or 3 teams at this point, you're like, those are the teams. And at this point, you're like, wow, like, Dallas is losing games they shouldn't. Wow. Arizona, they don't have Kyler Murray, but they went 2-1 without him.
Yeah.
Like, they lost more games with him.
Yep.
Then you're looking at the Bills, you're like, wow, the Bills are losing and they're healthy. Other than this week, they lost their corner. In the third quarter, though, this wasn't like 3 weeks ago you lost White. So it's kind of making you think, it's like, is the gap different than it used to be? Instead of having 4 or 5 top-heavy teams, does record just not matter anymore?
But this is why the NFL is the greatest professional sports in the world.
Yeah. Any given Sunday.
And one, it's any given Sunday. And 2, every fan base can say next year.
Yep.
Because I can tell you
Unless you're Houston.
Well, I'm going to say even Houston. I'm going to say even Houston. You could go last to second, last to playoff potential because 7 teams make the playoffs. Yep. Like the Bengals finished last in the NFC North. And every team ahead of them won double-digit games last year. They were 5 or 6 games behind every team in that division.
Yep.
Now they're a half game out of out of first place and own the tiebreaker. They're 3-1 in the division. They were 1-5 last year.
Yeah.
Like like I'm just saying, like you have that potential. The Eagles were dead last year in their division. You had Broncos were dead last in their division. And I'm just like, it's just so fun to watch because you draft right and players don't go to certain teams just to play. Like a wide receiver doesn't go to Patrick Mahomes all the time.
Yeah.
You have to have the money to do it.
Yeah.
And the NFL has that cap.
Yeah.
And you don't manage that cap properly, your 3-year top team, all of a sudden you start gradually getting worse and worse and worse until you have to cut everything and start over.
Yep.
And like the Steelers. Steelers are one of those teams where it's going to be starting over. And
Seattle.
Seattle starting over. The Eagles started over, but they're jumping. And it is, unfortunately for the Broncos and unfortunately for some of these teams, it is if you hit on the quarterback.
Yep.
You will not be able to contend in this league if you do not have a...
I will say this till I'm blue in the face or, frozen because it's pretty cold out here. I will say this, that most of the teams who win Super Bowls, who win meaningful playoff games, win because they have a quarterback in the backfield that is a good to great quarterback with flashes of eliteness. Mm-hmm. If you do not have that, you do not win. And again, last year, that Washington team was good, but they didn't have a quarterback to lead them the way.
Right.
Again, do I trust Dallas every week? No. Do I trust Patrick Mahomes every week? Yeah. But here's the thing. Both those quarterbacks, one is elite and one has flashes of elite. Burrow has flashes of elite. It's not somebody I want to play. Does he have flashes of bad? Of course he does. Does he have red zone woes? Sure he does. He's 23 years old. He's going to have those issues. Mark's shaking his head. But same thing with what's his name? Mac Jones. He has flashes of elite. These are quarterbacks that when they have that, they're on. But you know who doesn't have it? The Broncos. The Broncos don't have that right now.
No.
And these are teams where, like, they're playing good. They just got to get that position right. And let's say it's Aaron Rodgers, hypothetically speaking. That's a different team in the Broncos. I don't want to play them with Aaron Rodgers on that team for 2 years.
Nope.
No, nobody wants to play them because the Chiefs aren't safe. Because they have a defense and they have an offense. So my kind of point to this is, at the end of the day, to answer the question we started with was that we did the last 2 weeks, is any team really that cut above the rest? And I would say this. It doesn't matter who's on the team. Yes, it does. All 53 men matter. But look at the quarterback position. Do they have a leader? And do they have a quarterback that does not give the ball to the other team often? If you have those things...
All 11 teams we mentioned has a franchise quarterback.
And those decisions will change you in the playoffs. Once you get that person, it's there. It's like I said, it's like Dak being healthy is a difference between a 7 and 10 win team. He's that many wins of a difference team.
Did we mention the 49ers?
Yeah.
We did say the 49ers?
49ers are another team like that too.
You know, because that's a complete team. You can't say that it's a franchise quarterback because for some reason he just gets shit on all the time, Garoppolo.
Yeah.
He's not flashy.
No.
He's not.
He's Mac Jones.
Thank you. I was just about to say that. And that's why Belichick loved Garoppolo.
He's Mac Jones. If Mac Jones didn't hit, I could see Patriots trading back for him.
You know,
to get him in the offseason.
It is, you know, it's going to be fun down the stretch.
Yeah.
Just like our fantasy football leagues. As mind-numbingly bad as I am falling apart in 2 leagues. A third league, I'm just bad in.
You can't be that bad.
The A.D.D league, I'm 5-7 and just treading water.
You could be 80. You could be wet.
I mean, you're 0-12. You're 0-12. You have it, and Nate's like, "Don't say that." Aaron Gibson could pop off tonight, and he could beat me. I'm like, no, he can't. Nate.
Gibson could get 30 points against Seattle's defense. But here's the thing, though. Like, I almost won, and I just want to let you know that I have it typed up that if I was to have won, it was going to be Nate's daddy. It was going to be my team name. Just whoever I beat, that's my team name. Just be prepared.
I hate to say it, but I am rooting for you to go winless.
I am too. First pick potentially. I mean, I know we do a lottery.
But I am losing. In the wet booty league, I'm 8-4.
Yeah.
Which is good. But
I had a 90-point win this week in my family league.
I'm 6-6.
I beat Mike by 90.
The big win, and I'm 6-5-1 in the family league, and then I'm 5-7. Yeah, you got to fix that in the family league because Bray and I tied. It's the only reason why I'm still in the playoffs.
I didn't know there was ties in the league.
Yeah, there's ties.
I'm getting a win this week. Put me to 5-7 in the League of Extraordinary Legends.
I'm 6-6.
Working my way up.
I am 6-6, and I am falling apart.
I had a week, dude. Let me tell you.
I think I've lost 3 games in a row in that league. I think I was 6-3 in first place in my division, and now I'm 6-6 in like 4th.
Listen to my bench though, real quick. Higgins, Pollard, Mitchell, and Dawson Knox. All 4 of those, 58, 100 points. Still going to win in the league. But I didn't start them over Waller, who got hurt. Sanders, who didn't do anything. Darnell Mooney got me 20. Brown, like every player got me a lot of points, and that was my bench. I'm hoping for a return for that league because it is a really stacked team. Yes. But other than that, enjoy the game. Hopefully by this time you guys hear this. Like I said, it will be Friday. You guys know about you guys heard from last week. Yep. We both picked Washington to win tonight, which is in about 30, 40 minutes or so. Yep. Everybody, have a fantastic week. Stay warm.
We'll talk to you soon.
We'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.